Thanks, Colin. Good to see everybody. Thanks for being here with us, getting us started. I think that should work right there. A couple thank yous to get going. In the back, I see Brooke just walked in. Thanks to you and your staff for getting this ready. You guys move a lot of things around for all of us, and just want you to know how much we appreciate it so that we can do these types of things. Thank you, Brooke. Kevin Launderville is taking care of the food, taking care of you guys a little bit. He and his staff, as you know, do a tremendous job. My staff is back there. Unfortunately for me, they did not, no change in my staff this year. Kyle and PJ and Eric, 3 full-time assistants. Derek is our director of ops. Johnny Moran is our video coordinator. Jake Cook is our graduate assistant. And then we've got Don Bishop is back there as well as our athletic trainer, who I think most of you are familiar with. He's been with us the entire time, all 16 years. Those guys are individually and as a group as good as there is in the country. Couldn't be more fortunate to have that crew working for us and doing the things that they do. David Harris is about 6 months in as our athletic director and is off to a great start. He is just doing a tremendous job in terms of his leadership and moving some things along and getting ready and positioning us to continue to get on to some new things. But he's just been tremendous, and his leadership has been great. As I thought about it today, we've got enough new guys on our team. With the roster turnover, I'm just going to spend a couple minutes talking about our 2 seniors to start. Maybe touch on a couple of other guys, and then we'll open it up for questions and get to your stuff if that's okay. Jeremy Morgan and Jordan Ashton are our 2 seniors. Obviously, more familiar with Jeremy. Jeremy being in his 4th year with us, and he has had just a tremendous career to this point. And I would tell you, very proud of what Jeremy has done on the floor. That is important to what we're trying to get done when we talk competitively. But more proud of what Jeremy's done in terms of growing and changing and developing into the kind of leader that he is right now for our program. What he's been able to do in the role that he's been in with the 5 seniors we had 2 years ago and the 3 seniors that we had last year. He's done exactly what he's needed to do for our program. He's done exactly what we've asked of him in a lot of ways, so that we can be competitive the last 2 years. And really in that he's been tremendous. And what I'm excited about is now he has an opportunity to move into the different role, move into a role that Seth Tuttle and some of his senior teammates held 2 years ago, the role that Wes and Bo and Paul were in a year ago. And Jeremy's ready. He's ready to take that on. He has prepared himself well. I think we've seen at different times how good a basketball player he is. And now we're going to get an opportunity to see more of it. He knows that he's going to be counted on to do more. He's excited about it. And as I said, we're from a coach staff standpoint, we are excited for him. So again, we're very proud of what Jeremy has done, very proud of who he is, and looking forward to a awesome year with Jeremy. And then Jordan Ashton, the transfer from Iowa State. And Jordan really just got started in September with us. By the time we got through all of the graduating from Iowa State and the paperwork, getting into grad school and the different things, really didn't get into any team stuff until early September. And a couple things I would tell you about Jordan. One, he is in tremendous shape. And I would be able to tell you that he's probably in the best shape of anybody on the team right now. And for not having the opportunity to be with the team all summer and to be in the position he's in from a conditioning standpoint, I think that says a lot about his work ethic and what he's done to get ready for what is his senior year. Jordan and I sat down a couple times after the start of classes and just talked about a wide range of things. One of them being, hey, look, this is just going to be, we're only going to be together for a short time in terms of if you want to count days, weeks, and months, right? It's not going to, it's not going to be a long time. But it is, from my standpoint as our head coach and from the standpoint of our staff, it's no different than Jeremy being here for 3 years and going into his, now his 4th year in our program, other than the obvious, the number of days that you guys will be with us. Your experience, we are hoping, will be exactly the same as seniors. Your impact will be the same as seniors. And so I've talked with Jordan a lot about it. He and I have gone back and forth on some things. I've talked to him about leadership and what role he's comfortable with. But because he's only been here for a short time, and this will be his only year with us, no less will be expected in terms of his leadership, in terms of the example that he sets. And from his side, I told him, I don't want you to expect anything less from us as your coaches, or less from your teammates. This is your senior year as well. And our job is to, and that's for all of us, boy, our job is to make sure that Jordan and Jeremy have the best possible next 6-7 months that they can have. And that's been a pretty good formula for us the last 2 years. I think Dion, Marv, Max, Nate, Seth had an awesome time. And last year with Bo and Wes and Paul, boy, they couldn't ask for anything more. And has so much to do with their teammates, has so much to do with their leadership, with the teams that they were on. But at the end of the day, they had an unbelievable experience when they were seniors. And so that's what we're after with Jeremy and with Jordan both, even though they're at different ends of the spectrum in terms of how long that they have been here. This year's team, just real quick, Wyatt, Ted, Clint, Bennett, those guys as juniors, guys that have been around, will be responsible for some leadership as well. And even though we've got 11 guys of our 16 that have not played a minute for us, so a bunch of new guys, right? A bunch of guys that are different and maybe not as much game experience, practice experience, being together type of experience. We don't have as much of that as we begin this year as we have the past 2 years and at other times in our program. We do have guys with Jeremy and Jordan, with the 4 juniors that I just mentioned, and then the addition of Hunter Rhodes as a junior college point guard from Kirkwood. With 2 seniors and 5 juniors, we do have 7 guys in the junior and senior class. So there are guys there, just not quite the same experience that some of the teams that we've had here recently. So after you get past those guys, you got a bunch of young guys that are excited. And so we see it. We've had 3 practices, and we've seen it each day. We've seen it. We saw it this summer. We saw it in the fall here. We've seen it in our first 3 practices. That youthful enthusiasm, the things that Seth and Bo and those guys used to kind of shake their head and walk the other way. And yeah, I've heard that before, Coach. Now these guys are smiling. They can't wait for you to, what you can come up with next. Even though I've said the same things for going on 11 years now. So that aspect of being around the guys and being around practice has been, I think, been fun and been good for all of us. From a team standpoint, I'll leave it there. You may have questions about the schedule and about some of the the different things, but again, I'll be happy to answer those and happy to talk about all of those things. Before I open it for questions, I did want to mention our buddy Sully. That obviously the circumstances surrounding Jim Sullivan a short time ago, a very close friend to a lot of us in this room, and obviously at the Courier in the community, and a tremendous friend of Northern Iowa athletics. And I'm certain that Sully knows we're thinking about him, and I'm certain he's listening to us right now as I talk about him. But Doug and Nance and everybody else, just want to make sure that we understand, and his family as well, how big a part of our program here at the university in athletics that Sully was for us. With that, I would take questions.